I would have to say that living a creative life at the age of 31 has been a blessing and a curse, but despite the challenges and adversity, I don't believe I would consider abandoning this opportunity. However, I can't help but think that maybe, if I'd chosen to conform to social norms and live the more traditional life, that would mean I wouldn't be depressed. Had I chosen to be normal, maybe my life wouldn't be shrouded by uncertainty. But even though I spent some days questioning my purpose and identity, I can also acknowledge how much fulfillment and joy I experienced by pursuing a creative life. It was intentional after all. This was a decision I made for myself as I greatly value free will. Having some agency in my choices led to participating in self-inflicted trauma and pain, but beyond those struggles, it also meant living authentically. Unfortunately, I was also influenced by many social structures that deviated me away from my truth. I know that I'm in a place of privilege to get the chance to experience the moments I had, but sometimes I can't help but feel stagnant in my life. I'm in my early 30s now, and I feel like I don't have much to show as an artist. I don't have an artistic career, I haven't done any remarkable commission work, and I don't have any accolades in life attached to my art. But if I'm being completely honest, I had never measured my worth to these different milestones because I had always perceived art as a passion. I make art for creative expression, and for that reason, I have never wanted to monetize my creative projects. I simply wanted to be able to share what I created for people to see and have an appreciation for the aesthetic value and emotional appeal I wanted to convey. Growing up, art was never accessible in the context of visibility. Communities felt non-existent as they were hidden in plain sight. The thought of being an artist held so much negative connotation, which discouraged me from pursuing and making a living off of art. I could recall wanting to pursue photojournalism or graphic design as a career, but I had no trust in myself. But in hindsight, seeing what I can create now and my ambitions to learn new skills, I regret not having the confidence to decide at the age of 18 to have faith. I now have work experiences in careers I find no fulfillment in, as I chose what I believed reasonable compromises. This internal conflict between appeasing social expectations but choosing to live my life with some autonomy led me to never reaching any personal goals I had for myself. But even though I couldn't make art into a career, I still lived a creative life. I got the full experience of what it means to be an artist in its rawest form. From days spent in solitude working on my crafts to the memories I have made with my friends, or what feels like a fever dream that are amended with layers of positive undertones. Sometimes I feel stagnant. Sometimes I feel like a failure. Sometimes I feel confused. But other days, I feel grateful. This alternative life I chose to pursue that holds so much risk is what has me feel like I belong in this world. It took a long time to cultivate and discover this part of my life, but I was able to manifest something I had always wanted. There are so many unique narratives about artists in the 21st century, and this one is mine. It's hard to assess the ending of it all, but as I reflect on my life at this given moment, I can't help but ponder on the following questions. How does an artist discover their self-worth? What does it mean to live a creative life? Can this experience be had at any given age? Is being an artist an entitlement only the youth are allowed to have? When will I grow up? Do I need to move on? At what moment does it all end? So many questions about living a creative life and so many decisions that led to nowhere. But my youth is vanishing, so what happens next? I wrote a poem back in 2019 that I want to share that expresses my feeling on this topic. Although I'm trying to stand on my last breath, I am dying, but it's a beautiful death. It's a short poem I wrote that focused on my experience with mental health when I was around 25 years old. And several years later, it still resonates with me greatly. How could these short lines of verse be interpreted? For me, it's the thought of trying your best, even if death is inevitable. Although dying is associated with despair, I would like to remind myself that death is also beautiful. It's all metaphorical, and I would like to encourage you to find your own interpretation with what I wrote. But I believe that my existence is an embodiment of these poetic lines. I'm in the final moments, holding on as I die, and yet, it's so beautiful.